Hello everybody, I'm Grant Fluff from Fletcher Sports Zone and welcome back to another YouTube video. I was going to commentate the New York Rangers and Tampa Bay Lightning Game 6 tonight, but I have been pretty busy and I'm just going to make this very clear about the sports broadcasting videos. Once the NBA and NHL finals conclude, I do not know how often I'm going to be commentating. You might just get like one baseball game a week and that might just be it. I'm just letting you guys know, once the Stanley Cup Finals ends, the sports broadcasts, they're going to be coming out less and less and less. But even though I don't have a time to necessarily commentate a 2.5, 3-hour game, what I can do is I can continue to try to make some of these side videos, show a little bit more of the creative side of the channel, and that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. We are going to rank Ryan Fitzpatrick as he retired on Monday. We're going to go rank his individual team performances from 9 to 1. That's right. We're going to be ranking basically Ryan Fitzpatrick's performance on each team. All right, let me know if you guys want me to do this with other athletes. Frank Gore's another one who just retired this offseason. If you want me to do a video like this on Frank Gore, please let me know. If you want me to do just, give me a veteran that's played on at least 3 to 4 teams and drop them in the comments below because I can make this into a series. And of course, if we're going to start a series like this, it would be a smart idea to start with Ryan Fitzpatrick, who again played for 9 teams. So let's get straight into the countdown. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's just a regular Google Slides presentation here. But at number 9, we do have the Washington Commanders. As expected, his best play with Washington was a 21-yard completion to Logan Thomas in the preseason against the Patriots, which you can see in that picture there where this picture was taken. He did start week 1 for the, then Washington football team last season, went 3 for 6, throwing for 13 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, injured his shoulder, out the rest of the year. Yeah, obviously, there's a reason why the Commanders are placed in 9th here. Absolutely no surprise to anyone who knows Ryan Fitzpatrick or followed his career. Yeah, only 6 pass attempts. That's well worthy to be in the number 9 spot. Number 8 was the team where he actually began with, the Los Angeles Rams. Of course, he was playing with them back when they were in St. Louis. He was backing up Mark Bulger. In 2 years with the Rams, he started in 5 games, went 0-3, 777 yards, 4 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. I don't know why Pro Football Reference is saying he didn't win a game, because he did come back and win that game against the Texans in 2005. I think that was actually his first career win, where he threw the game-tying touchdown to Isaac Bruce in the last 2 minutes and then ended up winning the game in overtime. So I don't know why Pro Football Reference didn't necessarily count that as a win, but neither here or there. Other than that one fantastic game against the Texans in 2005, he also stayed with the Rams throughout 2006. Again, he only appeared in 5 games, and really other than that one game against Houston, he was very mediocre with Los Angeles. But again, he was just a rookie, undrafted quarterback out of Harvard in 2005. He's just trying to make a name for himself in the NFL, all right? So no hate on Fitzpatrick here, but he was not fantastic as a member of the Los Angeles Rams. Number 7, we have the Tennessee Titans. Fitzpatrick only played here for 1 year, and that was in 2013. I actually was the backup to Jake Locker for the first half of the year. Stepped in a game against the Jaguars. I think he threw like 2 touchdowns in that game. Did pretty well. Jacksonville won because Duval County, I'm a Jaguars fan. I wish Fitzpatrick played on the Jaguars, but that's neither here nor there. Fitzpatrick didn't do terrible. He threw the game-winning touchdown with 15 seconds left against the Raiders, won the Titans that game. He went 3-6, completed 62% of his passes, 2,400 yards, 14 touchdowns to 12 picks. At this point, Fitzpatrick, He was a veteran. He was, 28, 29 years old at this point. At this point, he was still in that career journeyman backup position, he had between his time with the Bills and the Jets. Of course, we'll get to the other team he played on, Tennessee, and we'll get to the Houston Texans in a minute. But yeah, I mean, basically, Fitzpatrick, he did well with Tennessee, but he didn't do great. Again, he threw more touchdowns than interception, but considering the touchdown to interception ratio, again, was 14-12, that's not great. Again, this is when he was a full-time journeyman in his career. Number 6, the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, I actually originally thought making this list, I thought the Bengals were going to be in 4th. Yeah, I was wrong on that. He actually was very mediocre on Cincinnati. He stayed there primarily in 2008. He didn't do terrible. 4-7-1, 1,905 passing yards, 8 touchdowns to 9 picks. And the only thing that was good here is a completion rate of 70. But it's still not necessarily incredible. This was when, after the Rams, before the Bills, Fitzpatrick was pretty much a backup to Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer was an injury-riddled quarterback in the mid-2000s. He also, I think, had a couple of contract disputes. So I think Fitzpatrick primarily just stepped in for whenever Carson Palmer was either injured or wanted to miss time due to contract issues. Number 5, we have the Houston Texans. I only played there for 1 year in 2014. Actually, threw his career high in touchdown passes, 6 against the Tennessee Titans that year. His regular touchdown to interception ratio, 17-8 in 12 games. Throwing 17 touchdowns and almost 2,500 yards. That's not terrible. I mean, he did throw for more yards on the Texans than he did with the Rams, Bengals football team. Not the Buccaneers, but he did throw at least, he ranks 4th in that category, I think, via teams. He passed the most yards with the Bills, then I think it was the Bucks, Jets, Texans, I think. Anyway, moving on to number 4, it's the Bucks. This is obviously the thumbnail of the video where Fitzpatrick dressed up like Conor McGregor after the Week 2 win over the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. The previous week, Week 1 of the 2018 season against the New Orleans Saints, I'm pretty sure he threw for 4 touchdowns that game. Mike Evans was a fantasy monster that day, I remember. That's because Fitzpatrick was leading the charge. And remember, when Jameis Winston was serving that 4-game suspension at the beginning of the 2018 season, Fitzpatrick went 2-2, and 3 of those 4 games played very well. And then he also played there. I'm mentioning 2018 a lot. He was also there in 2017 going 2-1, throwing 7 touchdowns to 3 interceptions and just over 1,100 yards. So all in all, despite he only playing Tampa Bay for 2 years, he is arguably a top probably 7 quarterback in Buccaneers history. The Buccaneers have had so many bad quarterbacks that even though Fitzpatrick played there for 2 seasons, he was just a quality enough backup to most likely reach everybody's top 10 Tampa Bay Buccaneer quarterbacks of all time list. That's depressing, but it's true. Number 3, we have the Miami Dolphins. This is just sensational. He was ages 36 and 37 with the Dolphins. And he managed to go 9-11 with a piss-poor running game and defense. That on its own is incredible. We know the story. Week 17 of the 2019-20 season, Ryan Fitzpatrick throws the game-winning touchdown to Mike Gesicki with 20 seconds left. bumps the Patriots down from the 2 seed to the 3 seed. The Chiefs bump up to the 2 seed, win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, man, the Kansas City needs to send a Super Bowl 54 ring to Ryan Fitzpatrick and Mike Gesicki. Make it happen. But regardless of that, he also stayed with the Dolphins in 2020. He was a great mentor for Tua Tagovailoa before he took over the second half of the season. Fitzpatrick went 4-3 with, again, a very mediocre running game. He took over, the season actually, take over. 4-3 as a starter, completed 68.5% of his passes, over 2,000 passing yards, 13 touchdowns to 8 picks. That's not terrible. That is not terrible at all. He was averaging 11.4 yards of completion, 232.3 yards per game for a 37-year-old quarterback on a team that has Mike Gesicki, Devontae Parker, Albert Wilson, and Preston Williams. Like, that's great. What are you kidding? That's amazing. Good for Fitzpatrick. All right, number 2, New York Jets. This is the team I associate him the most with, other than maybe the Dolphins. Because even though I technically started watching the NFL in 2013, it was 2014, 2015 was when I really got hooked to watching football. And when you want to bring up Ryan Fitzpatrick, I remember 2015, week 16, the New York Jets defeat the New England Patriots in overtime with Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing the game-winning touchdown to Eric Decker. That play would have sent the Jets to the playoffs until they, of course, collapsed in week 17, which Fitzpatrick played terrible that game. We did not mention that. But I will say, Fitzpatrick in 2015, he played very good. And to be completely honest, he was a borderline Pro Bowler. 10-6 record, like I mentioned, 3,905 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, which I think was ranked like 5th or 6th in the league that year. He averaged 244.1 yards a game and a completion rate of 88. If the Jets make the playoffs, there's a good chance Fitzpatrick has a Pro Bowl under his name. He does not, but very good chance Fitzpatrick makes a Pro Bowl if the Jets make the playoffs in 2015. At least if he doesn't make it as an original player, he makes it as an alternate. Fitzpatrick played great in 2015. 2016, the Jets fell off a cliff. Fitzpatrick himself fell off a cliff, throwing for 12 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. He still managed 2,700 yards. The Jets, from 2015 to 2016, they just took a huge collapse. They just collapsed all over the place. And then off to Tampa Bay he went. But again, considering 2015 was his career high in touchdown throws, and probably, I hate to say it, was his best season ever as a starter, I think that catapults the Jets past the Bucs, past the Dolphins. But obviously, if you watch football before 2013, you're going to associate Ryan Fitzpatrick with this team right here. That's right. Unsurprisingly, number 1, the Buffalo Bills. Listen, he played here for 4 years. It's kind of tough to not be number 1 here unless he was complete garbage, which he was not. Far from it, in fact. This guy had game-winning drive after game-winning drive in 2010, 2011, coming back from I think it was a 24-point deficit against the Bengals in 2010 to throwing the game-winning touchdown with 13 seconds left in 2011 to beat the Raiders, to defeating Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. That was another game. I think it was week 4, 2011. That was the true Ryan Fitzpatrick breakout game. And in 4 years in Buffalo, he completed over 1,000 passes, threw 80 touchdowns to 64 interceptions, 11,654 passing yards, 59.8 completion percentage with a passer rating of 79.8 and 211 yards per game, 212 if you round up. That's very impressive, especially for a guy 4 years. Buffalo didn't really get better until Fitzpatrick left. That's kind of the weird thing. The Bills were never great under Fitzpatrick, but Fitzpatrick himself was keeping the fold together and basically he gave the Bills 6-7 wins a season instead of 3 or 4 wins a season. Kind of look at it that way. He was that guy for a couple of years that he had the starting job in Buffalo and he was good. Buffalo wanted to get better. And guess what? They did not. They drafted E.J. Manuel. That went terribly. And then, of course, they got Tyrod Taylor after that, and then it ended up working well in the end. Buffalo has Josh Allen now, so obviously I really don't think, they would have wanted to keep Fitzpatrick any longer if that would have prevented them drafting Josh Allen down the road. But what I can say is that by far Fitzpatrick, since he played with the team for 4 years, and again completed over 11,000 yards, over 1,000 passes, you gotta rank Buffalo Bills number 1 for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Will he retire as a Bill? To be determined. To be determined on that one. But right now he's retired as a Commander, and he definitely gotta retire as either a Buccaneer, Dolphin, Jet, or Bill. It'll likely be the Bills. But there you have it, folks. That's me ranking Ryan Fitzpatrick's performance on each team he's played on 9-1. So in order, we had the Commanders, the Rams, 7th was the Titans, 6th was the Bengals, 5th was the Texans, 4th the Bucks, 3rd the Dolphins, 2nd the Jets, the Bills at number 1. He should sign a one-day contract with the Patriots to end his AFC East tour. I think that's what he should do. And have Frank Gore do the same. So they could both retire, technically being a member with the entire AFC East. And by the way, I'm mentioning Frank Gore because the next time I do a video like this, it probably will be Frank Gore. And then, I could do a lot of other players like this as well. I could do Adrian Peterson. I just basically got to brainstorm Andre Johnson. My goodness, I cannot talk. Just Champ Bailey, like great players who played on at least more than 3 or 4 teams. And again, if you want me to do another player like this, let me know in the comments. I could do like 2-team players like Ryan Tannehill. Like, oh, is he better on the Dolphins or the Titans? Like, I could do something like that. But, And don't you dare say Blake Bortles, because I will not be doing Bortles. Of course, if you're just new to the channel, Blake Bortles is my favorite NFL player. And, he's played on 5 teams. So he technically does have the right amount of teams to make a video like this, but no, I will not be making one because I don't want to get sad, okay? This was Ryan Fitzpatrick. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, let me know if you guys want me to make more videos like this in the future. And until next time, I'm Grant Fluff and Fletcher Sports Zone saying enjoy the rest of your day.